Hello, 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 everybody. How's everyone doing out there this Tuesday afternoon? My name is Valerie Harris, and this is your Stepping Up and Stepping Out series, guys, that airs every Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m. And this series has been designed just for you, to inspire you, to encourage you, and to empower its listeners to do what? Step up and step out of your comfort zone. And as an author and life purpose empowerment coach and leadership consultant, I help women in leadership and entrepreneurs to build a business, to create a brand that's for, with who they are and how they can go out there and help other people to create financial freedom and to live a healthy lifestyle as they long to leave a legacy for those that come behind them. And if you want to reach out to me further, you can reach out to me at www.talktimeval.com if you want to set up a consultation so we can get together. And if you're having any issues or things that you would like to discuss with me, that's where you can reach me at that website. So today, guys, we have a guest with us, Apostle Ezrian Jackson. And I would just like to give you a little bit of information about her before we bring her out here. Apostle Jackson is has a 20-year career in corporate America centered around administrative skills, which include supervisor of office services, sales and consumer services. She was a representative of human resources and assistant to the vice president of software of a software company and freight forwarder. And I thought that was very, very interesting of her career and things that she's done. And she's reinvented herself after the a pandemic and us being sheltered in. Through that experience, she reinvented herself in 2020 and has entered into the profession of coaching. Her mentor-mentee specialty coaching program that is designed to help women at the age of 30 years old plus. That's the target area that she targets. And she helps them to clarify and to release and to help them and assist them in discovering their specific specialties of their purpose. And by diffusing the cloudiness that a lot of times come with people not really knowing what their purpose is. And she helps them by accompanying them and helping them to transition from grief and trauma with her 10-week-old customized coaching program and approach that she uses. But she continues to pastor and oversee ministries, and she coordinates an outreach program within her organization. And I want to bring to the screen right now Apostle Jackson.
Hi, Dr. Val. How are you
doing, Coach? What's happening?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm just so happy about being on your show.
I'm so happy you listen that you agreed to come on the show because you have a wealth of experience through your life, and we're going to talk about some of those things, and we're going to just dive right on in.
Absolutely.
Try to help somebody out here. How about that?
That's what it's about, trying to help somebody else.
Yes.
I said you can't climb to the top and not try to help pull somebody up with you.
Absolutely. Because our gifts and talents are not for us.
Absolutely.
To help and push and empower other people to push them to the level where they need to be.
Exactly.
Amen. So the first question I would like to ask you this evening is, why do you think people have such a hard time setting personal boundaries?
Wow, that's a good question. It's a premier question. It is the response that they get when they make personal boundaries. First of all, we have to define what personal boundaries are. Okay, they are parameters we establish to teach others how we want to be treated. Okay, and they are defined by behaviors that we consider acceptable and
Mhm.
unacceptable that we choose to receive by others. Okay. And they are not created to keep people out, but to keep people in, to sustain and save the relationships that we have with one another. They give individuals insight, perspectives, and clarity about who we are. And so when we set personal boundaries, we realize that there's some value to our lives. And we create this space and parameters where we can be mentally healthy. Because you cannot be mental. We talk about mental health awareness. You cannot be mentally healthy if you do not have personal boundaries. So the setback with personal boundaries is the response that we get from people. I'm going to share just 3 of the 7 that I have. Number 1 is people refuse to hear what your personal boundaries are.
Listen. They don't want to hear it.
Right. Especially if they're family members.
Mm-hmm.
They've been knowing you since you was a little tot, you know. But they really don't know who you are today.
Right.
They might have helped raise you. There might have been cousins that have been around you. They saw you growing up. They saw your development. But they don't know who you are right now. So when you start setting boundaries, they were like, no, I'm not hearing that. I mean, we both of us are Bible scholars, okay? James didn't believe that Jesus was the Son of God until after he died and resurrected. His own brother. Hello.
Yes.
So we talking about Jude. He didn't become converted until after the death of Christ. So when we set boundaries, we start explaining to people about how we want to be treated. You know, if you're gonna come to my table, this is what I need you to bring. And you don't do it with arrogance. You do it with class, you do it with humility, but then you do it with firmness. All of that comes with it. So the refusal to hear what it is that you're setting, and then ignoring them. Then you got those people like, oh, this ain't gonna last but a minute.
And the thing of it is, they just don't want to accept who we have become.
Right.
You know,
that's good.
Because the thing of it is, as we get older, you know, and as we get, you know, grounded in Christ, our life is really transformed and we are a new creature in him. And so that like you were saying, they want to remember the old and don't want to embrace the new.
Exactly.
And that's where they get stuck, where you used to do this and you used to say it like this and you did it this way. So what's all of this about? And so they really don't want to accept who we have really become in Christ, and that's the real thing. And we lose a lot of people along the way. I just want to say hello to Gwen. Hello, Gwen out there, and we have Donna out there, and we have Charvette out there. Hello, ladies. So glad you came to join us this evening.
Well, 2 of them, my daughters.
All right.
We know Charvette is our consultant, our marketing consultant.
Yes.
Hi, everybody. Yes. Please like and share this broadcast on today.
Yes. And so, you know, that is real powerful. You know, what you were saying, they just don't want to embrace who we are. And they have a real problem. They have a real problem with us, really.
Right. It's not just in the Christian community. It could be your education. It could be you've got a master's, you've got a doctorate degree, you've got a bachelor's degree, you've got credentials, you have grown a profession. And so with profession comes ethics and professionalism. And so you bring that to the table, and and then you're building boundaries with your family because they don't want to respect who you are now. They call you uppity, and you know, I knew you when you was this. Well, no,
why you going to school and why you got to do all of that? And
why
you need all of these certifications? And you know, and it's not even about that, because look, everybody have their own idea of what they want to be and who they want to be, or how they want to grow themselves. And we need to always be lifelong learners. I'm a proponent of that, to be a lifelong learner. And that's not for us. It's going to help benefit somebody else.
Exactly. Well, sometimes we benefit outside of the perimeters of our own kindred. You know, I have a few cousins that celebrate who I am. And that's fine, you know, and I appreciate that. But as a
Chavez,
whole,
look, Chavez said, bring it all to the
bring
table.
it all to the table. We gonna bring it all to the table. Yeah, and when you start putting financial value on who you are. Oh no, wait a minute. I've been knowing you since you was in diapers. Well, if you want what it is that I have to give you, everybody else is growing by it.
Right.
Everyone else is improving their lives.
Right.
They're becoming professionals. They're getting jobs. I know
Right.
one particular person that I pastor is going to be a judge pretty soon. You know, you have the ability to coach and cultivate other people, to assist them in their journey in life, and you have the tools to do it, by which you have experience, you have credentials,
The expertise,
yes, expertise, and all of that. And so
they don't want to embrace it. Some people don't want to embrace that.
So those are some of the responses that people have to boundaries. They refuse to believe you, they ignore them.
Yeah.
And then you have the silent treatment.
Yeah.
The silent treatment is somebody that's been close to you, been your sister, your brother, maybe biologically, maybe a Sora, a fraternal brother, masonry. I don't know, but all of a sudden the silent treatment is like they give you a quick answer. It's either yes or no. You know, people mad at you. So you got an attitude? No.
They get smart with you.
Yes. So you got to deal with the silent treatment from people who have been close to you.
Yes.
And have been friends with you for years. Now you're setting boundaries and creating an atmosphere that is conducive for your purpose.
Right. Absolutely.
So that's why people have their, I do seminars on creating personal boundaries. And it's also part of the process in which I do my coaching for people to understand what their purpose is, the core of who they are, and the values that orbit around it, and how those processes work in time, and prioritize it. It's a 10-week program that I do. And I'm telling you, there's so many women that have, and I have a couple of brothers that have been blessed, have been encouraged, and they're going on. I mean, they're getting, one of my clients actually just got her doctorate degree.
Yeah.
Then I have other clients that have opened up their own businesses. So coaching is something that I've done. We didn't call it that in the church.
Right.
We didn't call it coaching. We're giving spiritual advice.
Right.
But what I've done is I've fused my theology with my secular credentials. And that's what I do when I work with women 30 plus, to help them diffuse the cloudiness. And some of it has to do with the grief in their lives that they have not dealt with, the trauma in their life that they have not, and the transition, because some of us do not know the importance of transitioning.
Yes.
I'm a registered behavior therapist for children in the spectrum. And that's one thing that the one word that we use all day long is teaching a child how to transition, how to transition out of one behavior into another behavior, how to transition out of one environment to another environment. And as adults, I found that a lot of our people do not know how to transition well. And the only thing we understand about transition is death. That's hospice. And, in hospice care, you got like 5 people to help you transition.
Right.
I was in my internship, I was part of a hospice team. You had your doctor, you had your physician, then you had your nurse, then you had your social worker, then you had the individual that sat with the patient to read books or prayers or whatever they needed. And then you had another person in there that made sure that groceries and food were in the house. They had a team of 5 people in a hospice team. And so what makes us think that when we don't need a team to help us transition from one stage in life, from one profession? Yeah.
And the thing of it is, we need to face it. We need help in those areas. because sometimes we'll miss the mark. So when we miss the mark, there's nothing wrong with going and getting someone and investing in yourself so that you can be productive in that area, because it's not going to just be about you. You're going to use those expertise to help someone else.
Absolutely.
And that's the part I think a lot of times people miss, and they don't put value on your expertise because they knew you then, or they, knew you from, like you say, your family, or it could be friends,
exactly.
or it goes across the board. They don't want to value what, God has put in you to be able to go out there and produce and to help somebody else.
Well, that's why you need a marketing consultant. That takes you out of the sphere of the norm, or the people that have always known you,
right,
that gives you visibility outside of the community that you have always dealt with. Because marketing is very essential in getting the people to know who you are and what you have to offer. Right. And that's a whole other profession and science in itself. Right. So that's one of the reasons why we have a marketing consultant to help us get out of the prison of just knowing a few people who got these problems, in a sense, in fighting them. I mean, the more you fight them, the more of your energy that you're giving away. Absolutely. It's just a fact. And so you have to let people stay where they are. And you grow, and that's what boundaries about. Say, okay, bye-bye. If that's where you want to get,
if you want to stay stuck there,
if you want to stay there, stay there.
I'm not mad with you. I'm not mad.
Right? Exactly. Exactly. So we don't want to invest our time, our money, and I believe one of the things that COVID taught us. And we've learned now about mental health. All these shootings that are going on, part of it is because of the access of being able to buy all these kind of guns that are made for military use. And a lot of it has to do with mental people just cracking up. They're just having psychotic breaks.
Yes.
And
you can't tell what day they're going to do it.
Exactly. And so we need coaches. Yes. We need consultants. We need therapists. We need all of all these professions to help us navigate our purpose. And this is our book, that we just brought out. I know you can mention something about it, about preparing for purpose. Yes. Welcome to your invitation to your next. This was a collaboration that was orchestrated by Charvette Mitchell. Yes. And it's 9 other women. I'm telling you, there's some dynamic stories in here. I'm one of the authors. Chapter number 8 is
a dynamic book. I've been reading it. Yes.
You've been reading it?
Oh, yeah.
To hear the trauma of what some of these women have gone through and how they have hurdled over all of those obstacles. I mean, from losing their ability to walk, getting run over by a car, losing their child, recovering from grief. I'm telling you, this compilation right here will encourage and help anybody that has gone through any kind of trauma, and lets them know, wait a minute, if they can overcome, if they have the tools to overcome, what is stopping us from doing the same thing?
And the thing of it is, people look at us and think, we're coaching, we're consulting, but we have coaches ourselves.
Yes.
So that's why we know what we're doing. It's not like somebody we just looked at the sky and drew it out the sky. We know what we're doing when we're out there helping the next person to push them to where they need to be, because all of us have gone through our own traumas in life.
Yes.
And those life traumas that we've gone through have enabled us to be able to help the next person.
Yes. If we're not stuck in it, the problem is so many people are. When you recognize the trauma, you have to recognize a trauma. You have to recognize
it. Come on, preach the book.
You have to recognize it and call it out. Yes. And you have to face it. And what happens to many trauma victims is that they're operating on survival tools.
Yes.
Compounded. You can't thrive and survive at the same time.
That's right.
You can't take the tools of survival into a thriving environment, because when you're surviving, you grasping at straws, you fighting your way through. You can't see nothing. You hustling. You're just trying to survive. And so sometimes trauma kind of leaves us there, but we need someone to help us navigate through that cloudiness.
Yes.
And it's really a lifetime journey. You know,
It is. It is.
we have 10-week programs and year programs for people. But what it does, it makes people aware that it is a lifetime journey to
Absolutely.
your mental health.
And
And
now,
that,
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
This is just so good. I just get so excited, because the thing of it is, as we're talking, and like you're talking about the traumas, because you have one trauma that happens and a Band-Aid is put on it. Another trauma happens and a Band-Aid is put on it. Another trauma and nothing's never dealt with. And so if you don't get the healing that you need, that's why you stay stuck. That's why you stay complacent and don't know what to do, because you have all these things going on and wondering why can't I move forward? And it's because you haven't dealt with those inner things that have happened to us. And a lot of times those things have happened to us maybe when we were young and it was never dealt with.
Right. And some things I remember my first therapist who, I was 55 years old when I went to a therapist, because I come from Pentecostal church. Well, most of my enculturation of my Christian walk is Pentecostal, even though my grandfather was the founder of a Methodist church, and my grandparents were Baptists.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of Baptist, Methodist, Pentecostal, all that mixed up. But most of my enculturation is in Pentecostal church. And, it's always about, God got you. I know he got me, but sometimes you need someone with a profession that can help you mentally and psychologically, because faith is about spiritual life.
Yes.
And sometimes pastors are intimidated. And I can say this, that pastors are intimidated with therapists and coaches because they feel like that they're taking something away from them,
mm-hmm,
And a pastor is a spiritual, having to do with the spirit man,
right?
Leader and guider. And they should I welcome therapists. I welcome coaches to assist those that
because people come to church sometimes to be healed, and they need to be able to be around those people that can help them.
Exactly. So I remember saying to my therapist, I kept saying, well, I left home when I was, 14 years old, and I had to raise myself. And she listened to me for like maybe 3 sessions. And she says, Rian, just that one revelation, one professional insight healed me, in one area. She said, you didn't leave your family left you long before you left it. And I thought about it. I'm like, because she said your parents were responsible for your support, and they did not support you. And because they did not support you, your support was gone before you walked out the house.
Wow.
And so I was like, and here I am, a 55-year-old woman, going back to being 13 years old and remembering that I felt like everything that I did at that age was all my fault, because I was trying to survive in a dysfunctional, traumatic situation in my home.
Yeah.
And when the therapist said that, was like, I was done. I was like, you're right. And I forgave myself.
Yeah, because
I had to go back to that little girl that was 13 years old, that was raped, that was trying to thrive in the streets. And I had to tell that little girl, it's not your fault. You were not responsible for what happened to you. Right. So, and I paid for the therapist. It's like,
listen,
I'm 72 years old, and I have not forgotten that breakthrough.
And the thing I tell people, if you need to go sit in the chair, go sit in the chair and get help. There's nothing wrong with it. I had to go. And like you said, it comes with repentance. It comes with forgiving ourselves, for feeling the way we felt and forgiving those that who made us feel the way we felt, go sit in a chair.
Go sit in the chair.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with it.
Go sit in the chair.
You listen, we're talking about the importance of creating boundaries.
Yes.
So
This
if we're
is
talking about that, that goes for us too. That's all
right.
of us. It's everybody. You know, we just have to embrace that if we need help. Yes, God is sovereign. He's good. He's going to heal us. But he gives other people the expertise to be able to what?
To guide us. To guide us in certain areas. Yes. To teach us the process of getting it done. You can only hear inspirational messages on Sunday morning. But who's going to teach you the process?
Yes. This is good. So we're talking about the mental health and creating boundaries, and they're all correlated, and people don't really look at the mental health piece as putting the boundary with it. So talk to us a little bit about that, because it's real powerful. You were talking about creating those boundaries, but the mental health, all of that coincides together.
Well, mental health, it includes our emotional, psychological, and social welfare. It affects how we think, how we feel, how we act. It helps determine how we handle stress, how we relate to others, and how we make choices.
Mhm.
So if we don't have boundaries, then we don't have mental health. We don't have good emotional, psychological, and social well-being, because we have not created boundaries to make that happen. And when we don't do that, we cannot prepare for our purpose. All of it, all of it winds up, it twines together, it relates to each other. You got to have mental health. In order to have a purpose in your life, you have to have good well-being. In order to have good well-being, you have to create boundaries, and then you have to deal with the consequences, because I'm telling you, your health and the outcome of your health and your success will outweigh what people do and say in response to your boundaries.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm like, you know, I'm like, I know how to say no.
Yes.
I was, we were taught as Christians, it's yes, 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 yes. No, I have learned how to say, no, I can't do that. That's beyond my capacity. Or, like people want to borrow money, yeah, I have $100, but I'm not loaning $100. I don't have to explain to you why I don't want to lend it to you. I just can say no. It's my prerogative to say no. Yes. And not feel like I'm not being a Christian. Now, if
because
I want to
give
no. you $100 as a charity and a donation, then my boundaries are very clear. Yeah. I'm giving something to you. Yes. I've learned to say no to certain people about certain things, because, they don't really value who I am and my time. But then I'm willing to say yes to some people that value my time. I want to help them. So I will say yes. Yeah. I used to every open door to preach, I was like, yeah. No, I don't want to perform for people. I'm through with the performing. I'm through with I got a celebratory preach to make you happy and got to do all this to raise money. No, I don't do that. No, thank you. I'm good. But if you value the message that is in me, the God that is in me, I don't have to negotiate a whole bunch of stuff, and I don't have to work. Like my mother was a very intellectual, and she used to hear me preach when I was younger. And I would get my hair done, and my dress would be all nice and crisp. And when I finished preaching, my hairdo was gone. And my mother used to get upset because she was Methodist. She said, they just treat you like you a horse or something. And I said, Mother, that's not what they're doing. I said, look at you, just look at you. Look, let me tell you what some of these people out here saying. Listen, wait a minute. Elder Coleman said, thank you for helping her set some boundaries. Boundaries. And she was one of the persons. She was one of my first clients when I was in California. Yeah. Okay. Absolutely.
And Shea, she said, love this. This is so good. And Nikki said, it's okay to say no.
It's okay.
It's
It is really
okay.
okay to say no. If you got an attitude with me, you're gonna get over it. But most of all, is I have created a safe environment for me to be in. I remember having, all these convocations and people go to, I'm like, okay, I can't. I've learned that too much sensory. I can't do a whole bunch of sensory.
Mhm.
So, for me to be somewhere where I got to hear 20 preachers preach, what is that? What is that? I gotta pay $500 registration. Then I gotta pay another $1,000 for my hotel and my travel. Then I gotta pay I'm spending about almost $4,000 to hear 20 people, and I only can remember 20% of what's being said.
Wow.
So, I've learned to say, no, y'all gonna do what y'all doing. Y'all just have a wonderful time. If you happy with it, I'm happy for you. But I can't do it. It's a no. It's a no.
Yeah.
Can't do it. I don't travel for $50. I don't do split offerings and all that kind. No, if you want me to come, you will prepare a stipend for me and you will let me know what it is, and I will let you know if I'm gonna do it or not.
Absolutely. This is good.
Yes.
So when we really, the thing of it is, what we're saying here is that when we really tap into those personal boundaries, we are gonna lose people along the way because they're not going to accept it. But it's okay, because we have to keep moving, because we have so much that we have to do that we can't worry about that.
Well, you know what, Dr. Val? We may lose people on the other side, but we gain people
Yes.
if we keep going.
Yes.
If you keep coming, that's my
like-minded people. Listen.
If you keep coming, you're gonna find a whole different elite group of people on the other side who think just like you.
I love it. Yes.
Who respect your boundaries and you respect theirs. And so you have a whole other pool of relationships that you have incorporated into your life. You can say bye-bye to them and hello to the other ones.
Yeah. It's all good.
Yes. I mean, I still love you.
I definitely.
I still love you. I still do for you if I have it to do. If my cup is overflowing in abundance, I will do for you. I got the love of Jesus.
Yes,
I got the love of Jesus for you.
Deep down in my soul.
Yes, really deep down in my soul. Right. But when it comes to my mind, hello.
Look, we got to keep our mind.
Yes.
Look, at the age we are, we better try to keep our mind.
We better keep it, because ain't nobody gonna keep it for us.
No.
Or they gonna throw us up in some senior citizen home and tell us that we're not relevant. No, that ain't happening.
You need to sit in that chair right there. Be quiet. Well, this has been awesome. Esmond, I'm so glad you decided to come out here and be with us today and talking about the importance of creating boundaries. And we all, like I said, all of our life, we are creating boundaries. It never stops, really, when you think about it, because they go from one thing to another, one stage to another, one situation to another, that we have to create those boundaries and stick to them and not let anyone make us feel less than because it wasn't done the way they thought it should be done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yes.
Well, I think my daughter, Pastor Gwen, has put the information in the comments on how to reach me.
Yes, and I had put your
thank you so much, Dr. Val. Yes.
This is her email. Listen, this is her email running across here. And we will also, any other information that you need to know, we will put it in the chat later. Her Facebook page is Ezrian Jackson. You can read there. And she's a powerful woman of God. And I just thank her for coming out here, being with us today to just talk about these boundaries and mental health, because that mental health piece is very, very serious in all of our communities that we're in. And it's something that we really have to be very cognizant of, and to be able to be there to help those people that are dealing with that.
Absolutely, Dr. Val. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you and your tenacity. And you're so brilliant. You so tech savvy. I'm like you mentoring me, and that's like I can't keep up with some of the. I'm like I lose it. I mean, I have my expertise, but when it comes to the tech stuff, you got it down pat. I appreciate it. But we also have to help our seniors cross over too.
We do. We do. We
We
do.
have to help them transition away from the old school. We can take our wisdom, but the young people still need to hear from us.
Yes, they do. Yes.
Generation Z and millennials and X,
The
they still need
legacy.
to
We
hear
have to
us
leave a
voice.
legacy that's going to go on and on, and yes, we can help them. A lot of times they might not want to hear what we have to say, but we have the wisdom that can help them to be successful in their lives and to look out for certain things and put up markers so that they will not fall into the diverse ends of what's going on in the world that we're living in, because it's very easy to fall back.
Absolutely. It is. It
Yeah.
is very easy. But
Yeah.
thank you again for having me, Dr. Val.
Yes.
I
Thank you
really
for coming
enjoyed.
on. Yeah.
You're one of those that I met on the other side.
Yes, that's it. And that was a good meeting right there.
Yes, yes, it was. Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
Well, I'll see you in a few minutes.
All right.
Guys, I'm so glad you came out here to be with me and Apostle Jackson today. I thank you for joining us and coming out here. And of course, if you need to get in contact with me, you can get in contact with me at www.talktimeval.com if you want to set up a free consultation. And you can also go to Apostle Jackson's website if you want to set up time with her, that you can contact her as well. And I want to make sure I bring this up to the screen because this is my latest book. And if you want to purchase that book, is The Effects of Prayer in the Life of a Leader. You can go to Amazon and purchase that book. And it's a 12-month journal and workbook for leaders. And so just go out there and get that book and make sure, listen, and I ask you all every week to go and subscribe to my YouTube channel, guys. And you can reach out to me on Instagram, LinkedIn, my Facebook page, and join my Facebook group. The link is in the bio if you want to join my Facebook book group, because we will be doing some fun activities later on this month. So I will be talking to you a little bit later. Talk Time Val is about to sign out, and I will be talking to you a little bit later.